What's up, my Central Unit? It's a Central Man here, so back again. Really, it's been a little while since I did a movie review. Last one I did was reviewing Fighting with My Family. So in this edition, I'm gonna review Brian Banks. This film is based in real life. Because I done my research. Because this film's all about a American football player got really wrongly convicted because of rape. I typed up because Brian Banks is a real life person. This is real life, and yeah, this plot is based on Brian's situation, trying to clear his name, trying to because in this film, he cannot do anything. He can't get a job properly because he's on this. He can't really play football properly. Trying to pursue a career in the NFL. Unfortunately, because of the situations. I'll get to it shortly. So, it's all about Brian Banks. It's like the pace of the film was really good. It wasn't like boring. It wasn't rushed. It was normal. It's normal to get like the character development. Developing the story of Brian Banks. Like it's all about Brian Banks when he was a kid, not like a little kid, but actually like when he was young, when he's about like 16 years old. He saw this girl called Kanisha, and they went to like make out, snog. That's our British term for make out. Behind, I think it was behind the stairways, and then self-proclaimed Kanisha, self-proclaimed lied about Brian raped her, and then Brian, got arrested, went to jail. I think he went to jail for 10 years, and he was on the sex register. The sex, was it the sex of was it sex register? The sex offender. I'm trying to say register for life. I think it was life in this film. And this film was set. The real life situation happens in 2000, and it was 2012. The situation. Brian trying to clear his name. 2012, 2013. Because he got arrested in 2002 when he was a kid, and then he was out. He's out. He can't do anything normally. Like it's like normal people who, he got wrongly convicted or what type of thing, like got raped or an inappropriate relationship, being a pedophile. They can't start a new life because you can't get a job normally, can't do anything normally. Brian Banks cannot play football normally. Like, let's get to the cast first. The casting was good. Actually, it was okay, man, for what it is, man. So, Aldous Hodge, who plays Brian Banks in this film, he played a good job playing that character. I think Aldous Hodge really was the MVP in this film. You got Morgan Freeman in this film, and also really funny that I done some research. I checked this review on Rotten Tomatoes. It's only got about 61%. It's like I think people just not really praise this film because they thought this film is all about it's got Morgan Freeman because Morgan Freeman is an established actor. Aldous Hodge, he's not an established star. No one know who he is. But like Morgan Freeman's role was a bit short. It wasn't like he didn't play a massive part. He plays Jermaine Jones. He's a real life captain in real life. Jermaine Jones, Jermaine Jones, only a short uncredited means like it's not. He hadn't got like a big role. He had one or two scenes in this film. He plays this type of motivating coach in Brian when Brian at time was in jail. Trying to motivate him. Every one scene, you give them a book, and also show like throughout the whole movie, it show the lighter side of Brian Banks, make him more of a lovable, loyal person. You just want to play, just want to pursue a career in the NFL. In one scene, he was like saw like another cell, another prisoner stabbing another prisoner. I don't know if he was dead or something, and then you think I think it was a Mexican or something. He's like, "What's up, Holmes? You you got a problem, and then you kind of like beat that person who stand that other person, and then Brian Banks got like sent to solitary confinement for 60 days, doing the whole, he's kind of losing his mind, suffered a mental breakdown. He saw images of, I think it's called Derek's. Not Derek Sadler. I think he's called Derek Carroll. He's basically. I found out he's the guy managing coaching the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not 100% sure. Just write it down in the comment section below. Anyway, he wants, and also saw what, taught him, let it go, and then he kind of like overcome it, you know. It's all about, I think they developed the story pretty damn well. The past of Brian Banks. Anyway, you got, Greg Kinnear. The only Greg Kinnear film I saw before this film, Brian Banks, was this film is all about a little bit about American football. The last American football film I saw was called Invincibles. You got one with Invincibles is got with Mark Wahlberg. This film was in 2006. He plays like a coach managing, coaching the Philadelphia Eagles. If I want to review Invincibles in the near future, I will do it. Anyway, let's get back to this film, Brian Banks. He plays Justin Brooks. Justin Brooks is basically, a lawyer. His performance was okay. It wasn't great, but it was good for what it is. I don't know about you got, what's it called, Melanie Limbird. She plays Karina. I'm guessing that's a makeup character. I'm not 100% sure. He plays like Brian Banks, not say girlfriend, but a best friend. Like kind of like met in the gym. Brian talk about his past, and Melanie talks about her past, and they're kind of like one scene like they were going to a museum. Unfortunately, Brian cannot go there because he can't really go to a park or play football because he got monitored on his ankle because of a parole officer, because he violated that. You go to jail. Anyway, so they kind of develop feelings to each other, and also the actor who played Brian Banks' mother was good. Playing the caring mother, care about her son because in real life Brian Banks' mother spent a decade without her son. Grew up. Brian Banks grew up without a mother because he's behind bars. So anyway, so Kanisha is basically in real life they went to a lawyer's office, and Brian Banks literally have Kanisha Rice's confession on video. They didn't brought a video camera. I think it was a laptop. Unfortunately, they can't use it because of copyright issues. They can't really do that. That's just good crucial evidence to really not really put Kanisha in prison, but really clear his name. I bet back then, I think in real life, if they find out I think back then Kanisha probably get some criticism by the community because you really sent an innocent man in prison. He didn't really did the rape. Anyway, so. Yeah, this film is really good. I suggest it. It's released in 2018 in the LA Film Festival, but was proper released in August of 2019. It's on Netflix right now. Go and check it out. Just type in Brian Banks, and the film will pop up, and go and check it. It's a really good film. All about a person who's wrongly convicted, trying to clear his name and move. And trying to get his life back on track. Brian Banks, did clear his name. In the end, it overruled, his decision. That means he's free now. And he went on to try out with the Seahawks, got cut, had a run with the Atlantic Falcons, got cut again, but he's part of this group known as the CIP, the California Innocent Protection. It's basically a group like helping people who got wrongly convicted in any type of crime. They're real life characters. So anyway, my rating for this film, I'll give it about 8 out of 10. Really strong film. MVP for this film has to be Aldous Hodge, who plays Brian. So just watch it on Netflix. It's a really good film.